G'day. Now, I've been practicing meditation for almost 60 years, and it's only in the last few years that I think that I've started to understand what it is that I'm trying to do. There are a lot of dead ends in practicing meditation. There are a lot of crazy beliefs out there, and when you start out you don't know whether they're true or not, and they're very enticing, some of these ideas, and you waste a lot of time being deluded by these ideas. Now, every culture produces these things. Whether you think you're going to become enlightened or go to heaven or go to paradise or become immortal or talk with the gods, or these fantasies, they really do get in the way, and you spend half your life getting away from these delusions. There is some real benefit from meditation. And I want to basically just give my personal outlook on what I think you can really get from a genuine practice of meditation. Peace of mind is possible, even in this world of turmoil. It's got to do with, if you want peace of mind, it's got to do with what kind of ethics you set for yourself. Because disturbance of mind is all about regret, grief, misplaced ambition, fear. The last thing you want to do is trespass on your own conscience. If you do that, then you've got to reconcile with the things that you do before you're going to get peace of mind. So ethics is the basis of it, for your own sanity, for your own peace of mind. Then there's, okay, let's say you're an ethical person. Then the next thing that you need to really come to grips with is your own emotional state. Now, people are frequently disturbed early in life. Our parents, the social pressures, a lot of these things weigh on us and dictate how we behave or what we believe. And a lot of this stuff creates internal anxieties, internal pressures. So there's a lot of introspection involved. Then there's the social context. We live in pretty violent times. So the wars are happening as I speak. And for those people who are born into that terror, that's an extra burden on peace of mind. Then there's, methods, how you go about achieving peace of mind. Now, in the videos I've done previously, I've been recommending that the most certain path is to teach yourself to relax while maintaining mental alertness. And why I recommend that is that that'll bring the subconscious into conscious awareness, gradually. Now, that does conform with the traditional approaches to meditation, in that you need to focus your attention. You need to gain control over your attention span. You need to have some mastery over what your mind does. Relaxation is the meditation object, and it's a useful way to go about it. You're doing two things at once. You're training yourself, you're training yourself to be relaxed, which is what you need to have peace of mind, and you're focusing your attention. Now, there are a lot of people out there that perhaps are watching this video who they've given their lives to meditation, and that's what's really required to get to the depths of yourself. It is a life practice. Many other people, they dally with it. Well, okay, I'm sympathetic to that. And relaxing will bring enough insight over time. A lot of the things which disturb you, which make life more unpleasant than it needs to be, you'll work those things out. For those people who are engaged in a lifetime practice, well, there might be several things motivating you. For me, it's curiosity. I just want to understand. And I don't have to have any beliefs about that. It's an experiment. It's an inquiry. And hopefully over time, I come to understand things. Other people perhaps are motivated by some of the beliefs that are out there, and I feel very sorry for you if that's the case. There are plenty of crazy religions out there that you can spend your life devoting your efforts to, and well, the benefit of a long-term practice is seeing more deeply into things, understanding things more clearly. Now, the great struggle is to see what's real. And there's a lot of ideas out there. The debate in philosophy about what's real has been going on for thousands of years. Now, how would you possibly come to a decision? Well, the only tool that you've got with which to make that decision is your own mind. How reliable is your perception? So the first basic requirement to try and answer that question is to be confident in the reliability of your perception. Now, a lot of the meditation techniques that are put out there, they get results. They create altered states. Well, does that necessarily mean that they're reliable states of mind? A lot of the practices, they're very extreme, and they produce extreme states of mind. Whether it's done by prolonged sitting in a dark room, which is basically sensory deprivation, or whether it's done by some drug or potion that's mixed up by somebody you've just met. These things actually are distorting effects of the brain, and it's not actually meditation. Now, in the videos where I've tried to explain what I consider to be a sensible approach, what I'm trying to convince people about is that the path to having a reliable platform from which to view reality, your mind, is for it to be not stressed, to not be in a state of distress or turmoil. That if it's humanly possible to know what's real, well, you need a mind which is calm and undisturbed. Now, much of that disturbance is emotional disturbance. Whether you're suppressing things which have occurred to you in the past, or whether you suffer all kinds of anxieties, or whether you're constantly angry or constantly afraid, all these things are an impediment to resolve. So the first stage of the inquiry into what is real is to have a reliably quiet mind from which to examine reality, that you're not driven by some distorted emotional drive. That's the first stage of a practice. So that's where ethics comes in, and that's where relaxation comes in. What will happen with relaxation is the subconscious becomes more consciously aware, and whatever are the motivations which drive your decisions, you become more consciously aware of why you're doing what you're doing. And when you know why you do something, you can then examine it and make a conscious decision about whether it's really what you want, or it's really what's really important to you. And that's meditation. All these belief structures that hold out this promise of some kind of great reward, well, these things are an aberration of some emotional disturbance. When I try to offer a definition of meditation, what I offered was meditation is profound rest. Now, if you can achieve that profound rest and not be easily shaken out of that, then you've achieved a great thing. You've found yourself, in effect. And from that, you can look at the world and hopefully not be not have a distorted perception of it, not one which has been imposed on you by the culture that you happen to be born into. The thing about meditation is, in one regard, it's an attempt to be objective rather than subjective in your perceptions. Now, is it humanly possible to know, to be omniscient? Oh, no, of course not. We're limited creatures. But we still have a great deal of potential. And coming into possession, true possession of your own mind, where it's a servant, that's a great thing. And that's what I have come to believe to be true, is the value of a meditation practice. So, see you later.